In the previous video, we created our details page and learned how to build reusable faceplates. In today's lesson, we're going to create our trends page and then make all of our navigation buttons functional so we can switch between pages during runtime. Finally, we'll test our project to make sure everything works as expected. Let's get started. To create the trends page, navigate to Graphics Designer, right-click on the empty space inside your project tree and select New Picture. Rename the picture to Trends. Then double-click it to open it in the Graphics Designer. Just like the pages we've already created, the first thing we need to do is make sure the screen dimensions match the size of our picture window. Right-click anywhere on the page, select Properties, then under Geometry, enter the same width and height that you used for your picture window. This ensures that the page fits perfectly when it is displayed inside the main screen. Now let's add the trend display itself. Navigate to the Controls panel and drag the WinCC Online Trend Control onto the screen. Resize it so that it fills most of the page. The Online Trend Control is used to display changing values over time. Instead of only seeing the current value of a tag, it allows us to see how that value has changed over the last few seconds, minutes, or even hours. In our project, we'll later use it to monitor the timer values used by our traffic light sequence. Before we finish with the trend control, there's one setting we need to adjust. Double-click on the trend control window. Navigate to the Value Axis tab. By default, the value range is set to Automatic. Since our PLC timers can reach a maximum preset value of 15,000 milliseconds, we'll uncheck Automatic and manually set the range from 0 to 20,000. This gives our trend enough room to display all of our timer values without cutting them off. We'll leave the rest of the settings at their default values. Once we begin linking PLC tags later in the series, we'll come back and configure the remaining options. Our trends page is now complete. Before we continue, if you've been following along and your project is looking similar to mine, let me know by leaving a comment below. It's always great seeing your progress, and if you run into any problems, I'll do my best to help. Now let's make our navigation buttons actually work. Up to this point, we've created several pages, but clicking the navigation buttons doesn't do anything yet. That's because we haven't told WinCC what should happen when a button is pressed. To understand how navigation works, we first need to understand the purpose of the picture window. Think of the picture window as a frame on your main screen. The page shown inside that frame depends entirely on one property called Picture Name. Let's see that in action. Click on the picture window on your main screen, then open its properties. Under the Miscellaneous tab, locate the property called Picture Name. This property tells WinCC which picture should currently be displayed inside the picture window. For example, if I type home.pdl, notice that the home page immediately appears inside the picture window. If I changed it to admin.pdl, the admin page would appear instead. So instead of creating separate windows for every page, WinCC simply changes the picture name property to display a different picture. We'll leave home.pdl as the default value so that whenever our runtime starts, the home page is the first page that opens. While we're here, also enable the Adapt Picture property. This allows the picture window to automatically adjust the displayed page so that it fits correctly inside the available space. Now let's configure the navigation buttons. Before adding any events, it's a good idea to give our picture window a meaningful object name. Select the picture window, open Properties, then under the Picture Window tab, change the object name to something easy to recognize. I'll call mine Main Screen Picture. This makes it much easier to identify later when creating events. Next, select the Home button. Open its properties and navigate to the Events tab. We want something to happen whenever the user presses the left mouse button, so locate the left-click event. Click the small lightning bolt, then choose Direct Connection. A configuration window will appear showing a source and a target. For the source, select This Object, since the button itself is providing the information. For the property, choose Text. On the target side, select the picture window we just renamed, Main Screen Picture. For its property, choose Picture Name. Now let's understand what this event is doing. When someone clicks the Home button, WinCC reads the text written on that button, which is Home, and sends that text to the Picture Name property of the picture window. The picture window then looks for a picture called home.pdl and displays it. So every time the button is pressed, the displayed page changes automatically. Click OK to save the event. Now repeat exactly the same procedure for the remaining navigation buttons. One important thing to remember is that the text on your buttons must match the names of your picture files. For example, Home button for home.pdl, Details button for details.pdl, and so on. If the names don't match, WinCC won't know which picture to display. Now that our navigation is complete, we need to configure our project before running it. The first step is to define the screen that should open when runtime starts. Locate your main screen, right-click it, and select Define Picture as Start Picture. A small green icon will appear next to it, indicating that it is now the startup screen. Next, expand the computer node in your project tree. Right-click your computer name and select Properties. Open the Graphics Runtime settings. Here, enable options such as Adapt Picture, Title Bar, Minimize, and Maximize. These settings simply control how your runtime window will appear when it opens. You can experiment with the other options later to customize the runtime window to your preference. Finally, go back to your main screen and make sure the Border and Adapt Picture properties are enabled for the picture window. This gives the picture window a clear outline and ensures every page displays correctly. Everything is now ready. Return to the WinCC Explorer home screen and click Activate Runtime. After a few moments, your SCADA should open. Try clicking each of the navigation buttons. You should now be able to move seamlessly between the Home, Details, Admin, and Trends pages. This is a good sign that your navigation events have been configured correctly. When you're finished testing, don't simply close the runtime window. Instead, return to WinCC Explorer and click Deactivate Runtime. This properly shuts down the runtime application and helps prevent project files from becoming corrupted. That brings us to the end of this lesson. In the next video, we'll connect TIA Portal to WinCC Explorer and import all of our PLC tags into the SCADA project. This is where everything starts coming together, because we'll finally begin linking our buttons, indicators, timers, and trend control to the actual PLC program. The next video is already on your screen. I'll see you there.